believe, and you're here in the office of the Always Believe House. Oh, today we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's get rocking and rolling, because this is going to be like drawing a 90-degree angle. Okay, so we're going to start, and a magical whiteboard appears, and we're going to start taking notes. So we're talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. Now then, hopefully you know that parallel lines never ever cross, right? Parallel lines will never ever cross, okay? Technically, their slopes are the same. And slopes are the same. Okay, so parallel lines have the same slope, they'll never ever cross. Learn that in 8th grade. Now then, let's talk about perpendicular, and to illustrate this, let's go to page 15. So go to, or I'm sorry, 16. So go to page 16 in your notes, and let's look at this picture. Now then, on page 16, we already did this, I've erased my notes, but technically this equation is y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 3, right? So the slope's down 1, right 2, and the y-intercept's 3. Now then, let's graph this line. We're going to graph y equals 2x, let's see, and let's do minus 2. So let's graph y equal 2x minus 2, and remember the slope of 2x is 2 over 1, right? So we're going to start at negative 2, draw a dot, and then we're going to go up 2, right 1, draw a dot, up 2, right 1. This is where they cross, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and then connect the dots. Now then, if you have a piece of paper, slide that piece of paper into that angle. If you have another sheet of paper, take that piece of paper and slide it into that angle. So like you would have a piece of paper, let me make it blue, and you would slide it up into the angle, okay? And what do you notice about the corner of the paper? It fits perfectly in that angle, doesn't it? Okay, that angle would be a 90-degree angle, wouldn't it? Okay, it's going to form a 90-degree angle. And what do you notice about the slopes? One of the slopes is negative 1 over 2, and one of them is 2 over 1. So the slopes both have 2 and 1, but one's 1 over 2 and one's 2 over 1. Also, one of the lines is going up and one of them's going down. This is said to be opposite reciprocals. A reciprocal means you flip a fraction. That's something you should learn in junior high. And opposite means the signs are opposite. For the lines to be perpendicular, one line has to go up and one line has to go down. So one slope has to be positive, one slope has to be negative, and the slopes have to be opposite reciprocals. So if one slope's 3/4, if you flip it, you get 4/3, negative 4/3 would be perpendicular. So if the slopes are opposite reciprocals, the two lines will make 90-degree angles and be called perpendicular lines. So let's go to the page we're on, okay, which is right here. Okay, so draw perpendicular, and first off, parallel lines, the symbol for parallel lines is 2 arrows that go like this. You'll do that a lot in geometry. So instead of writing parallel, I'm just going to use the symbol. The symbol for perpendicular, because perpendicular is kind of a big word, a symbol for perpendicular lines is the box with the chair, right, or the 90-degree symbol. So instead of writing down parallel and perpendicular, I'm going to use the symbols. It's going to take less space. And also remember perpendicular slopes. The slopes are opposite reciprocals, right? Okay, now then let's practice this a little bit. What would the opposite reciprocal of 2/3 be? Okay, so I have a slope of 2/3 and I want the opposite reciprocal. I'm going to take 2/3 and flip it, so that would be 3 over 2, and then I'm going to switch the sign, right? Piece of cake. What would the opposite reciprocal of negative 4/3 be? Draw an arrow, draw a perpendicular symbol. So if I have negative 4/3, I want the opposite reciprocal. It's going to go from negative to positive, and the 4/3 will flip to 3/4, right? What if my slope were negative 3? What would the opposite reciprocal be? So I'm going to draw an arrow, I'm going to get a new slope, and I want it to be perpendicular. So remember, negative 3 is negative 3 over 1 in it. So I'm going to flip it, it'll be 1/3, and it will go from a negative to a positive. So negative 3 and 1/3 would draw lines that would be perpendicular. Now that you know about the slopes, we can write equations. What you have to be able to do is you have to be given a point and a slope and be told if it's parallel or perpendicular and write the equation of the new line. That's what we'll be doing. Okay, so let's go over here and we're going to go through these 4 problems. Write an equation that is parallel to this equation and goes to the point. Okay, so first off, the slope of this line is 2, right? So write down m equals 2, draw an arrow, and put a parallel symbol. If I have a slope of 2 and I want a parallel line to that, the slope will not change, will it? So the 2 is going to remain my slope. Okay, so I have a slope of 2 and I'm going to draw a parallel line. I won't switch it and then put x and y. Now then we're going to plug this into point slope and then switch it to y equal mx plus b. So we're going to do y, the opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. Remember point slope is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1, right? That will be on your formula chart, okay? You don't have to memorize it. You'll probably have that memorized after today because you're going to be using it a lot. Okay, so we're going to have y minus 6 equal, our slope is 2, parentheses, x, the opposite of plus 4 is a minus 4. Remember, when you put the ordered pair into the equation, the signs will flip. Now then, we're going to change this to mx plus b. So we're going to distribute the 2. This isn't hard because the slope's not a fraction. We'll have y minus 6 equals 2x minus 8. Now then, I'm going to take the 6 and move it across. So I'll have y equals 2x minus 2. Notice that the equations both have a slope of 2, but the y-intercepts are different, aren't they? So basically all I did was change the y-intercept, but I did not change the slope. This is all you're going to do. If the slope is perpendicular, you're going to flip the slope and switch the sign. Let's do number 2. Let's go down to number 2 is right here. Write an equation of a line that is parallel, so I want the same slope, but my slope is in standard, or my line's in standard. Okay, we need to solve this for y. So let's move over to 2x. I'll have negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. And now I'm going to divide by negative 4 to get the y by itself, to isolate the y. And I'll have y equals 1/2 x minus 2. So this is my slope. So I'm going to write down 1/2. I'm going to draw an arrow, put a parallel symbol, and I want my slope to be parallel to 1/2. It's going to stay 1/2 in it. That's going to be my m in it. Now then, put x and y above your point. Okay, now then I'm going to take that point and my slope's 1/2. I'm going to plug it into point slope and switch it. So I'm going to have y, the opposite of minus 2 is plus 2, equals, my slope's 1/2, parentheses x, the opposite of negative 8 is a plus 8. Now then remember when you get here, if you have a fraction, we're going to bluebell truck that fraction out, right? So the denominator's 2, so I'm going to bluebell truck 2 3 times, aren't I? I'm going to put it over the y, the number, and the fraction. Then I'm going to multiply. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 2 is plus 4 equals, the 2's cancel out, and do I need to distribute the 1? It's going to stay the same, right? So it's going to be x plus 8. So now I have 2y plus 4 equals x plus 8. The next step is to move that 4 over, right? So I'll have 2y equals x, 8 minus 4 is 4. And then I'm going to divide by 2 3 times, aren't I? I'm going to divide by 2 3 times. And I'll end up with y equals 1/2 x plus 2. And notice, this is the other equation, right? So my slope stays 1/2, but my y-intercept went from a negative 2 to a positive 2, didn't it? So I have 2 parallel lines, but I have different y-intercepts. That's what's going to happen. Piece of cake. Now then let's go to example 3. Write an equation that is perpendicular. If it's perpendicular, we're going to flip the slope and switch the sign, right? This right here would be my slope, and this is going to be my x and my y. So let's write down the slope. It's negative 1/3. I'm going to draw an arrow and I'm going to put a perpendicular symbol. So I want the perpendicular slope to negative 1/3. I'm going to flip the 1/3 to get 3, and I'm going to change the negative to a positive. So my perpendicular slope will just be 3/1/3, right? That's going to be my m. This is my x and y. I'm going to plug it into point slope, right? So y, let's just put the minus 0, equals, my m is 3, parentheses, x. The opposite of negative 2 is a plus 2 in it. Okay? Now then, y minus 0 is just y. So y equals, distribute your 3, and you get 3x plus 6. That is the equation. Notice that this slope's negative 1/3 and this slope's 3. They're going to be perpendicular, aren't they? Oh! Let's continue on to example 4. Okay, on this one we want perpendicular again, but we have standard, right? If you have standard, you got to switch it to mx plus b. So we're going to write down x plus 4y equals 12. Move over the x, subtract x from both sides. 4y equals negative x plus 12, and then divide by 4, right? So I'm going to get y equals negative 1/4x plus 3. Now then, what is this slope? This slope is negative 1/4 in it. So write down negative 1/4, draw an arrow, and put a perpendicular symbol. I want the perpendicular slope of negative 1/4, don't I? So the negative will change to positive. The 1/4 will flip to 4/1/4, right? So my new slope will be 4. That's going to be my m. So this is my m, this is my x, this is my y, right? Now I'm going to plug in the point slope. So y, the opposite of minus 6 is plus 6, equals, my slope is 4, parentheses, the opposite are x, the opposite of negative 12 is plus 12. Now then, I don't have a fraction, so this won't be that hard. I'm going to distribute the 4 and move the 6 over, right? So distribute the 4, so y plus 6 equals 4x plus 48. And then I'm going to move that 6 over, and I'll get y equals 4x plus 42. That is my new equation. Notice that these equations have opposite reciprocal slopes. One of the slopes is negative 1/4, one of them is 4. The opposite reciprocals, the two lines will cross at a 90-degree angle. Okay, you're going to have a wonderful time doing the homework that's coming up next. I will show you how to do that. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.